6 points out of a playoff spot when O'Reilly got traded, and then you lost 8 of your last 9. Why in particular did that trade seem to hit the team so hard?
Obviously a huge piece for us. And then probably, emotions run high and was our leader. And, you probably feel where the writing's on the wall a little bit where, you're always still trying to make the playoffs, but it's going to be tougher. And we just, probably folded more than we should have. If you look, even before that, leading up to bye week, we lost 5 in a row. We lost 8 of 9 there. Those are a lot of points where, you feel that you just gave away, and before you know it, you're playing, essentially meaningless hockey when it comes to the playoff push, down the stretch.
Brayden, in your eyes, why? Yes, the personnel is a little bit different, not a whole lot, but why was there a 28-point drop-off between last year's team and this group now?
I think from the very beginning, we probably didn't come together as a team. It's a humbling league. Year by year, you have to, be a team. We've always said the Blues aren't built on superstars with McDavid and McKinnon and guys like that can easily win you a game each night. We feel that we have to play together, and probably we didn't do that enough this year. So we got to get back to building something next year with each other, and it shows when you're not a team, it's tough to win, and we proved that this year.
Why do you feel like that's the case, though? Why wasn't there enough of that?
I think obviously it probably goes boils down a little bit to guys worrying about themselves too much. Realistically, that's kind of what happens, and when you do that and worry about your yourself and your individual play, you're not worried as a team as much, and like I said, it's tough to win in this league, and that's a culture you don't want to have is guys kind of worried about themselves.
Along those lines, Justin went as far as to say that you could see the professionalism slip even early on in the season. What does it take for those younger guys to realize what needs to be done? Is it something like this, having the season and watching the playoffs? Is that what it takes?
Yeah, this is a lesson where I've missed the playoffs before. But I've never had a season like this where realistically you're out of it since game 30. It's not fun playing those hockey games. Like you said, it slipped early. It's a lesson for everyone. It's a lesson for all of us that, like I said, it is a humbling league, and you have to become prepared right from the beginning of the season. We were chasing it all year from 7-8 game losing streak, and when you do that, it's still early on in the year, but it's hard to make up points in this league, and you have to be ready from day one. And realistically, after a 3-game win streak at the start of the year, it fell off.
Craig McTavish told me yesterday the last 20 games is like, you call it the March of the Living Dead, where you've got to show up to work, you got to do your best, but the team is not going to make the playoffs. How tough is that, especially for a guy like you that's won a lot in his career? How tough is that to deal with and come to work every day?
Saying this, and it's not what you want to be a part of. Obviously, we're still lucky to be in a situation where we come to the rink, we play in the NHL, we get treated good, and all that type of stuff. But you're in the business to win, and after experiencing winning, that's all you really want to do, right? And when you be a part of a season like this, like I said, everyone has to take a look in the mirror and realize, this isn't fun. This is something that you don't want to be a part of, and you have to find ways yourself individually to be better, in order to make sure this doesn't happen again.
To get that professionalism back, is that a guy-by-guy thing, just raising their standards, or is that a culture thing around the team too?
It's both. It's a culture thing. You have to get back to holding each other accountable, demanding more of each other, and that slipped throughout this year, no doubt about it. And then individually too, you have to find ways to keep on getting better, whether that's on the ice, off the ice, and like I said, accountability is a big thing. It goes a long way, and we feel in our locker room, from day one this year, we just probably didn't have enough of it.
One last one. What's it going to be like? You guys were supposed to be in the playoffs. To see a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, who you've won with, now helping another team try to win, playing in the playoffs for a different team, is that hard to accept a little bit too?
Yeah, I mean, I actually talking to a former teammate a while ago. The Blues have kind of been built on guys moving on from having success, not guys moving on, or whether it's coaches or players or whatever, getting shipped out because of failure, right? So that's something that we have to, make sure that, like I said, it doesn't happen again. Take care of each other. It's tough watching. I mean, you're cheering for a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, don't get me wrong, he's a good friend and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's not fun seeing a guy who's a good player helping another team when you know that he could be helping you right now and you could be playing playoff hockey. So, it's a tough year. We put it on ourselves in our locker room, self included. Leadership has to be better for next year. And you may not go to the Stanley Cup final, but at the end of the year next year, you want to make sure that you hold yourself accountable, you hold your teammates accountable, and you feel good about your season, right? And I don't think anyone in our locker room or in the organization has that feeling this year. And so next year we have to get back to making positive steps.
Brayden, what are the qualities that make a good captain? And from O'Reilly, did you maybe learn things about what it took to be a good leader?
I mean, I think over my career, I've had, good captains with Petro and O'Reilly and, Claude Giroux and guys like that. Captain's one thing too. I think you learn from everyone in the locker room, realistically. There's so many different types of personalities and the way guys handle themselves. And I was very fortunate, lucky to play with some guys at a young career, in my young career, where you learn from guys. And if we're talking about O'Reilly, what you take away from him is just the way his work ethic, the way he drags guys into working before practice, after practice. Obviously, that's one of his biggest qualities. And for a guy that's almost played 1,000 games, that from 18 years old, it's not from being lucky. It's from putting in the work, and that stuff wears off on guys, and he's doing it now in Toronto. Obviously, I know that from my brother being there and stuff like that. So they're lucky to have it, but at the same time, I think you learn from lots of guys in the locker room. Obviously, everyone always looks at the captain, and he's obviously the guy that gets the most recognition from leadership. But there's guys that have been leaders that I've played with, and good leaders that haven't worn a C.